Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Stretford. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It is Wednesday afternoon. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash the like on the video. If you could be as kind to do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. This is the preview of Manchester United versus FC Plzeň. It's not FC Poznan. I know people are thinking about the Poznan, you know, the Man City Poznan. It's not that. It is FC Plzeň of the Czech Republic. And you know what? New day, new dawn, new team. You know, and we never played this team before. It is a history in the making, of course, guys. FC Poznan be looking to cause a big upset for Manchester United. And hopefully we can move up that table by defeating them. They are level on points with us, guys. Just remember, they are level on points of us. So winning this game is imperative. Look, after this game, we've got 2 more games in the Europa League stage, the group stage. We should qualify for the top 16, which means we have to play a playoff in a couple of months. If we don't, if we get in the top 8, we go straight through and we don't have to play the playoff. What do you guys think about that? Do you want a playoff? Some people say we need a playoff. Some people say we need more games to get used to the tactics and stuff like that. What do you think of that? It looks like Man United will go through regardless with a playoff, but you know what? The playoff could be a difficult game. The playoff could be obviously another one of those teams in the top 8. You know what I mean? After the 8, there's another 8. It might be them, of course, guys. So we'll have to obviously look out for that, and we'll have to be careful in regards to how we approach this game. It is really important that we win the game, of course, guys. Plzeň, Viktoria Plzeň, FC Viktoria Plzeň have had some big results in the Europa League this season, not least defeating the likes of Real Sociedad and with 10 men drawing against POAK away. And we all know how difficult POAK were, don't we? We know how hard they are, don't we? To be honest with you. So at the end of the day, they drew them away with 10 men. So you know what? When we get into it and we learn about FC Poznan and we learn about, you know, different things, the beauty of football is that we always got something to learn about different teams, with different teams that we play, etc., etc. But if you look at FC Poznan's results, you've got POAK, they drew 2-2, of course, guys. They also defeated Real Sociedad 2-1. 2-1, they said that is La Liga side, Real Sociedad, of course, and Dynamo Kiev. You know the famous Dynamo Kiev? By 2-1 in Kiev, guys. So at the end of the day, this team know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know where they're going. They know how to play, and they won't be no pushovers. Absolutely not a pushover at all. They will be ready for us, guys. So you know what? One thing we got to say is not underestimate them. Be confident in our own ability, and then obviously, hopefully, we can win the game, because it is very important that we win this game, guys. If we have aspirations in finishing in that top 8, we have to really try and win this game, guys. It's important that we win this game going forward, of course, guys. Now, when I look at the Man United team and my prediction for the Man United team, this is what I'm going with, guys. This is the team that I'm going with for tomorrow's game, guys. Tomorrow night's game. This is the team versus Viktoria Plzeň. I know there will be changes. There will be changes in the lineup because obviously we got Manchester City at the weekend. So I want you guys to think about the Manchester City game and say, look, you know what? We do have to play other players. We do have to play different players on a different side. Now, 2 mainstays in that team are Dalla and Fernandes. It doesn't look like those players are going to be dropped for love nor money. But what I would say is that I think it will be a similar side. I think it'll be a similar side that played at the weekend, but a couple of changes. In regards to Martinez, I think he'll maintain his place. I think he'll stay in the side. I think he will maintain his place. I think that obviously Maguire will play. I think Maguire needs games. Lenny Yoro needs games as well. Of course, guys, if we think about it, of course. Let's read some of your comments, guys. Big up, GK. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. What's up, Bilal? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you, Bilal. Good to see you, my friend. Big up, Bilal, of course, the legend in the house. Greetings, Jim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Late vibes from Brisbane. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Of course, Danny B. Good to see you, mate. Good to see Danny B in the house. Good to see Danny. Good evening. It's from Singapore. Big up, Pearl. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Big up, greetings, Danny. Salam, Bilal. Big up, Jim. Big up, Jim, of course, guys. Thank you, everyone who joined me today, of course, guys, for this watch along. This is Chatterbox, of course, guys. Absolutely love Chatterbox. Chatterbox been around now for 5 years, and you know what? I'm absolutely delighted the way the direction is going in. you know, and yeah, definitely a great story it has had, of course, guys. Today, I reached the milestone of 5,000 followers, 5,000 subscribers. So I want to thank each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel. We are on the road to 6,000. As I said, we're not going to stop, guys. We're not going to stop, and we're going to keep going until we reach the top. Absolutely not. We don't stop in this dunya. I don't fail, guys. We don't fail as a unit, as a family, as a community. We don't fail, of course, guys. But this is my team, of course, guys. Maguire, centre-back. I think he needs games, of course, guys. Lenny Euro does need games. He needs a little bit of fitness. So I think that he will play in that right of the back three, of course, in that right of the back three. Diego Dalot, right wing back. I think he's keeping his place. I just feel that he's going to keep his place. Ericsson and Casemiro in the midfield. I think Ugarte will be dropped for this game. Not dropped, but rested for this game. Casemiro and Ericsson were playing that midfield with Malacia left wing back, in my opinion. He needs games. He did play the other day, but you know what? He needs games. He does need games, guys. And to be honest with you, I like Malacia, but you know what? It's just, does he suit that role? Is he the guy to take us forward? Remember, we're playing VIKTORIA Plzeň, and VIKTORIA Plzeň, as I've just shown you guys, they are going to be a little bit tricky. They've got results in the bag against some very good sides, guys. Some great sides they've beaten. And to be honest with you, you know what? We cannot be complacent in this game, guys. At all. We cannot be complacent in this game. Rashford, I'll say, be number 10. He'll be back in the side along with Bruno Fernandes, who's not going to be dropped. But I feel like Xerxes will start in this game. Of course, the rotational policy that Ruben Amorim is doing at the moment, I think that Xerxes will play in this side, guys. Obviously, Onana will. Obviously, some people are saying that Bayinde should start. Bayinde hasn't played football for a while, hasn't he? You know, I feel a little bit sorry for Bayinde. He left, obviously, Fenerbahce. Was it Fenerbahce? He left them and obviously hasn't really played for Man United. I think the last time I can remember him playing was in Newport County, wasn't it? Newport County all those years ago. Of course, guys. Absolutely, of course. Kazi, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Chatterbox has been around 5 years. Never knew that. 6 years, mate. Almost 6 years. Didn't used to be live content, used to interview people and stuff like that, of course, guys. Chatterbox originally started way back in 2004. Not live content, way back in 2004. And basically, but it was on and off. It wasn't a consistent thing. So the structure of Chatterbox started 6 years ago, but the original Chatterbox started back in 2004 when I done commentary and I worked at Man United and I worked a pre-match conversations and stuff like that, of course, guys. Back in the old days, I've done a lot of things in regards to football back then, of course, guys. Way back when, of course. Big up, Jim. Peeps, to you. Big up, Sal, for the way you pour your heart out with a passion. Thank you so much, Jim. It's people like you who appreciate me, my friend. It's people like you who appreciate me. I'm on the Chatterbox WhatsApp group and people blanking me. You know what I mean? They're blanking me. They're like, you know what I mean? My goodness me. It's like you don't want to chat to me. You don't want to. Fine. I know when I'm not wanted. I know when I'm wanted at the end of the day. But big up, Jim. You absolute legend. Thank you so much for joining me today, of course, guys. But this is the team that I would pick for the game tomorrow, guys. I know it probably would change slightly. It might change slightly. You know, with Ruben Amorim, he doesn't really he isn't really predictable, is he? If we're being honest, he isn't really predictable. He has his own philosophy in regards to team selection, of course. Chat have been around since 2004. The idea of Chatterbox has been around since 2004, and I used to do interviews before games. I famously spoke on ITV before a game against Tottenham Hotspur, and I spoke about Rio Ferdinand and Eka Davids, and Rio Ferdinand thanked me during an interview and stuff like that, because obviously that time it was like basically like an independent stroke commercial sort of thing that I was doing. So what I would do is like have an interview. People would like come to me and interview me, and I'll upload it and stuff like that. But and it used to be on ITV and stuff. So one thing I used to do that, and talk about the ins and outs of football. One of the most popular things I did was in regards to Rio Ferdinand. Rio Ferdinand was charged with missing his drugs test. He's missing his drugs test, and I compared it with Eka Davids. And obviously that went viral. I mean, not viral back then, but you know what? It went popular back then and stuff, and went to various networks and everything like that and whatnot in between, of course, guys. So yeah, it was an interesting time. It wasn't easy. You know what? Some people just arrived on YouTube. I didn't just arrive on YouTube. When I was doing music and stuff, I used to go around with my rat sack selling CDs in the street with my brother. That's what we used to do. Proper grafting, mate. YouTube's made it easier for people to do it, you know, when they wouldn't do it otherwise. They don't have the graft in them to do it. But you know what? We used to be in there with our rat sack and stuff. I ended up getting on Channel 4 and stuff like that, and working on Dub Plate Drama, which was a series, of course, guys. So you know what? Lots of things, lots of history, of course, guys. Hello, Sal. You said we can't live without you. No, they can. You can live without me. I said you can live without me because I'm getting blanked. Yeah. So you're better off. You know, you don't need me. I said you guys don't need me. You mean you're blanking me on the WhatsApp groups and stuff like that? Absolutely. Sal, your show is good. Addiction is therapeutic. Thank you, Jim. You are therapeutic, my friend. I'm glad I get some compliments. You know what I mean? And I appreciate it, of course. I really appreciate you, Jim. Really appreciate it because I do put a lot of work in this, of course, guys, all day. I don't only do this, of course, guys. I do other things as well. I put a lot of work in, of course, you know, and I appreciate every single one of you, of course. Jim, you're a legend, mate. Thank you very much for that. So that is the team, guys. But when we talk about Viktoria Plzeň, let's really talk about Viktoria Plzeň, eh? Should we concentrate on what Viktoria Plzeň are? Now, who recognizes this fella here? Who recognizes this fella? Do you recognize this fella, guys? Come on, guys in the chat. I want you to get it. Who is this guy right now? Who is this guy? Who am I talking about? Who is this guy? This guy with a hairstyle. Come on, guys. I want to know. I want to know. The first one who gets it. Come on, you guys should know who this is. Who is it? Please tell me. Who is it? I don't have to give you the answer. You guys, you're slowing me down. Come on, guys. So you're honest with us as like we can fully trust you. Asking because I was in Alice Abrams' stream and she said Man United have called Ericsson and told he isn't part of the squad, but in fact he was. Let me say something about this, Luman. All right, I've been a fan a very long time and I don't have time to mess about and lie and stuff like that. I live in the UAE at the moment. I have no one to talk about football with, you know, at the end of the day. And I created this stream to talk with fans. People like Alice, and no offense to Alice, they are a bit clickbaits, Lumen. They're clickbaits. And this is the thing I was talking about clickbaits earlier on. Clickbaits are bad because they use sensationalist headlines like, can you believe this? Or is this really true? I don't believe this, with a face like this. Yeah? Like that. That's what they do, right? And then they pull it out there on YouTube and people consume it at the end of the day. But I don't report fake news. Guys, I'm going to have a very big guest on this show very, very soon, guys, very soon. And you know what? It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a massive one. And you know what? You will see, you know, the respect that, you know, people get. I think I should have more followers and more subscribers, obviously, because I am the real one. Of course, guys, I am the real one, obviously, but I don't have any bots like some people. I have real support. I've reached over 5,000. It's a milestone for me, as we say, alhamdulillah. It's a milestone for me, of course, guys, and I'm happy. You know what I mean? But, guys, looks like Patrick Swayze, says Kazi. Patrick Swayze? Bloody... Yeah, you got a point. It does look like Patrick Swayze. It really does look like Patrick Swayze, doesn't it? But it's not Patrick Swayze, guys. This is a famous Viktoria Plzeň player. Don't look on Google. Tell me, who is this famous Viktoria Plzeň player? One of the greatest players of a generation, guys. I'm telling you right now. Generation. Do you want another clue? Do you want another clue? You want another clue, of course. So to answer, what makes you different from others? I read everyone's chats. I'm real. I treat everyone equally. I don't fish for subscribers. I don't fish for super chats. I don't fish for that because I love my football club. I love the football club. I've been supporting the football club 40 years. Is that enough? Is that enough? You know what I mean? 500 games. Is that enough? Absolutely. Matata has got it, guys. Matata has got it. He has got it. It is Pavel Nedved. Of course, we know Pavel Nedved from the Juventus days, became one of the greatest players in Czech. He probably is the greatest player in the Czech Republic's history. One of the greatest players in the Czech Republic. What a player he was. What a player he was. Yes, it was Pavel Nedved, guys. Pavel Nedved. Congratulations to Matata. He has got it, of course, guys. Absolutely, absolutely. The second one I want to show you guys is this young lad here. Who is this guy, guys? He played for Viktoria Plzeň. Who is he? Who is the player that we're talking about here? Who is it? Come on, guys. Come on down. Who is this guy here? This one should be easy, to be honest with you. This one should be easy. Absolutely. This one should be easy. Big up, GK. Not Heinkes. Absolutely not. So that big guest is that Mark Goldbridge. Don't leave us in anticipation. There's going to be a few, mate. There's going to be a few. At the end of the day, I'm warming the seat at the moment. I'm warming the seat. I'm getting all comfy. There's going to be something massive for you guys, absolutely, for my community, of course, guys. I'm going to get you all involved as well, because that is what it's all about. Never Ballon d'Or. Yes, he was a brilliant player. Absolute brilliant. Wouldn't mind him at Man United, of course. As well, I swear, Sal, you didn't Google. I just said it, a face similarity. Big up, Melantacha. Congratulations. I trust you, my friend. Well done, mate. Absolutely well done. Patrick, and he has got it. He has got it. He has got it. GK has got it. He has got Petr Cech, played for Viktoria Plzeň. Viktoria Plzeň, he played for him. You know what? They've had some good players when you think about it, isn't it? I mean, look at that kit, guys. It looks like a spider web. It looks like Spider-Man. Or what is it? The Green Lantern or something like that. Look at that. Look at that kit right there. My goodness me. Look at Petr Cech right there. Look at him. Mad, isn't it, man? Mad. Absolutely. Big up GK. Big up everyone, of course, guys. Sal, please tell Great Gaddafi hi. Big up Jim. People are saying hello to you, Jim. They're saying hello, hi. They're saying hello, hi. So he said hello, hi back, Man Latata. That is Man Latata, by the way, Jim. You know what? Yeah, he said hello, hi. So keep it nice and sweet with you guys. Keep it nice and sweet and cushy. That would be absolutely lovely, guys. It is nearly match day. We are all about Ruben Amram's army right now, ain't we? Look, you know what I mean? There's a lot of negativity going around in regards to Man United. I'm hearing so much negativity. I'm reading so much negativity. I hate these players. I hate them. But at the moment, what can we do? We can't do anything about these players. We're going to have to carry on and we're going to have to support these players until they go. Right, I know that a lot of these players don't deserve chances. I know that we don't like them. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is the badge. It's the badge. Supporting the football club, the badge of Manchester United. That is what's the most important thing going forward in regards to us as fans. That's what we should be. We should be supporting our football club. Lots of noises, lots of moaning and stuff like that. It is an issue, of course, guys. Now, if you watch my short video earlier on, I posted a video about how I feel about the Glazers. Look, there was a quote coming out about Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers, and one of the ex-employees said the Glazers cared about the staff. Don't get fooled by that rubbish. That is absolute nonsense. The Glazers have used Ineos to cover up the fact what they wanted to do in the first place. They wanted to make people unemployed. Don't get it twisted. They wanted to get people, employees on 30 grand a year on mortgages and rent. They wanted to get them unemployed. And what better way to do it than use Ineos and hide behind Ineos? Remember, Ineos were only supposed to do the football operations, the football stuff of things, you know, not the financial side of things, etc., etc., etc. So what has happened is that they're using Ineos, Jim Ratcliffe, to make people redundant, unemployed, etc. So at the end of the day, the Glazers are still an issue. And the Glazers, they employed Ineos. Let's not forget, they employed them. And that means that the Glazers are a big problem, guys. And this is not ruthless. This is more like cruel. What's going on now is cruel. It's not ruthless. It's horrible. It's nasty. It's not nice when you see people losing their jobs, etc., etc. Of course. Peter Schmeichel, not Peter Schmeichel, Jim. Absolutely. You know what Peter Schmeichel looks like. They were so handsome when they were young. Yeah. Don't we know it? Petr, wow, absolutely. That is Petr Cech. Big up, of course. Big up. They played for Viktoria Plzeň, guys. Viktoria Plzeň. So obviously, I'm just getting acquainted with Viktoria Plzeň, of course. I'm getting you guys acquainted with them and the ex-players who used to play for them, of course. There's many legends who used to play for the Czech Republic side, of course. But way back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, all those days when obviously some of us weren't around back then, of course, subject to popular belief. Some of us weren't around then, of course, guys. Absolutely, of course. So this is what it is, guys. This is what it is. And at the end of the day, you know, tomorrow is a must win. Man United must win this game. Man United need to go into that game and take it very, very seriously, guys, because the Viktoria Plzeň will be smelling blood. Of course they will. They know Man United haven't had a good time recently, of course, just losing to Nottingham Forest at the weekend. So it's very important that Manchester United bounce back. I know we can't trust these players. I know that. I know. No one needs to tell me anything about these players. I don't trust them either. And I've been saying that for years and years and years with some of these players, right? And they're still at the football club. Jose Mourinho said that 3 of those footballers are still at the football club. So we know what's going on. It doesn't take a mathematician or a genius to work out who those players are. We know that they could let us down. But the one thing I would do, whenever Man United are playing, I get giddy, I get enthusiastic, and I'm ready for the game. And I'm going to support support the football club until 20 minutes into the game when I'm absolutely effed off with them giving a ball away. It happens, doesn't it? You can just, written in the stars, soon as Man United kick off, you're like, yes, let's do this, Man United, we got this. And then 20 minutes down, you know what happens, don't you? You know what happens, don't you? We start giving the ball away. We probably can see the goal, and then we're like, oh, for crying out loud, effing this, effing that, this, that, and the other. And it drives us mad, doesn't it? It really does, doesn't it? It really drives us mad, of course. Sal, Glazers are not just a problem. They are the cancer of the club. Absolutely. The huge black cloud hangs around Man United because of these Glazers, Jim. Absolutely. Because of these Glazers. I've got a massive comment section right now. I don't know why it's massive, but absolutely it's massive. That's what she said. No, so I'm not going to say that. But yeah, that is exactly what it is, guys. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I'm you know what? They are a cancer of the football club, and they've been a cancer of the football club for 20 years, Jim. And we've had enough of them, haven't we? As a family fan base, you know, we've had enough of the Glazers, and we want to see the Glazers lead the football club. Glazers out, full South, debt cleared. That's what it was for me. Screaming my lungs out for months and months and months on every single platform. I even went on Qatar television. I went on a plane on Qatar television. I was on the Qatari Twitter page. You know what? Talking about selling Man United, and Man United need to be sold. Why Man United need to be sold? I waste my breath. You know, and I was speaking about it non-stop, of course, absolutely. Big up Dark Crow. Hello, I'm here. Hello, hi. Hope you're doing well. Absolutely. Big up everyone, of course. Big up everyone, of course. Aki. Big up, brothers. Absolutely. Yes. So at the end of the day, yeah, I went around and I wanted the Glazers out. And you know what? This is no surprise. What's going on right now is no surprise. I mean, we did foresee this many months ago in regards to before Ineos took charge of the football club. We knew this type of thing was possible, and this type of kind of mentality will be rife. You know, look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to turn around and say that Ineos have done absolutely everything wrong. They're absolute devils and stuff like that, even though it is the Red Devils. But, you know, they are absolute evil and stuff like that. They have done some things right. But at the moment, the wrong things are starting to outweigh the good things, unfortunately, my friends. Unfortunately. Big up, Elite Baller. What's going on, my brother? I hope you're doing well. How you feeling? I hope you're good. Good to see you, mate. Good to see Elite Baller in the house. Big up, Sal. That's more like it, Elite Baller. Big up, Elite Baller. Thank you for joining me today. Absolutely good to see Elite Baller in the house. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing kushti, mate. Hope you're doing kushti. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow for the game. Maybe if you're feeling better, don't forget to join me, my friend. I'll be here waiting for you. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. So at the end of the day, look, you know what? We can moan, we can cry, we can, you know, go on and on about it like a broken record. At the end of the day, what I would say is that, you know what, we just have to support our football team. And that's what I would say. Always support your football team. Don't say I'm not going to support my football team. You know, I feel like not supporting my football team. I always feel like supporting my football team. Even when it's bleak, even when it doesn't look good, I'm supporting my football team. I'm going for it. Guys, at the end of the day. And I'm supporting my football team. Even if I know that we're not going to win a game, even if I know we're going to struggle, even if I don't like those players, it's about the badge. The most important thing is about the badge, of course. Sal, who is better owner of the Glazers, FCG or Kroenke? I would say, look, I don't want to say anything about other teams, but you know what? We can't really judge, can we? Because at the end of the day, Liverpool have one challenging for the title. They're top of the league. So one thing we will say about Liverpool is that we can't really mention their ownership because they're at top of the league. They were obviously fortunate that they had Jurgen Klopp for a very long time, and he sort of straightened everything out, and he left a great team, a good settled squad, a team. For Arne Slot just to press play, of course, guys, as we've been saying. He left the team there for Arne Slot just to best play. In regards to Kroenke, I don't think he's that good, but you know what? The Glazers have been the worst. And the reason the Glazers have been the worst, because none of those people right there, FSG and Kroenke, have left their football team in nearly $1 billion in debt. Nearly $1 billion in debt, paying off no capital for 20 years, right? To the fact that we're still 500 to 800 million in debt. And that is the difference between those guys and obviously the Glazers. This is the problem that in regards to that, you know, because the Glazers have not only done that, they've evidently down-tooled on our players, sold Cristiano Ronaldo, replaced him with Michael Owen. It was the fact that Alex Ferguson was such a genius that we actually were challenging and we were still up there in the league and stuff like that. You know, since he left, the reality has hit home, of course, guys. So I'm getting mad at Ineos for not picking the small people all in the name of cost cutting. Absolutely, mate. It's horrible. They're picking on the small people, of course. for not picking. I mean, the sacking of Dan Ashford too. Look, you know what I mean? Whatever happened there, I'm not too sure, but it was a little bit questionable in regards to that. I mean, I'm a bit skeptical of what happened. And probably was an argument. Something happened in regards to that. So who is more crucial of Liverpool success, Klopp or Salah? Klopp, mate. Klopp made Salah. Salah was in the doldrums in Roma, weren't doing much. Klopp is the most important person in Mohamed Salah's career, in my opinion. Big up, Sal. How do you feel about Amram fielding a more or less second string side for the best available 11 for City on Sunday? Because I'm sure he has an idea of best 11. I mean, I don't think he'll play completely. LT, how you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. I don't think he'll play a completely different side. But one thing I would say is that players do need to be rested for the Man City game on Sunday. Absolutely. The players need to be rested. We need to perform against Man City. Man City is very important. We should be able to beat FC Pilsen with our second team, guys. Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, let me get my boy in. Elite baller, one of the legends, of course, of Stretford Post. What's going on, bro?
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Good to see you, mate. I'm good, brother. I'm good. What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm slightly getting better, but you can still hear my voice. The problem that I had. But yeah, I'm all good, man. Just trying to digest the daily news that comes on about Man United constantly. It's getting a bit wearing. But at the end of the day, if we win tomorrow, everything looks a lot brighter, doesn't it?
It does, isn't it? We need to make sure that we qualify in the top 8, because if we've qualified in that bottom 16, we're going to have a playoff in March, I think it is, something like that. We're going to play a playoff. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, to be honest. Maybe we need to play a playoff, get used to the tactics and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely need to win this game. Pilsen on the same points as us, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we got to win that game, you know. But I'm very disappointed, mate. I mean, you wasn't here at the weekend. Of course, I wanted to hear your opinion in regards to, you know, the team, the players, certain players in there who shouldn't be playing. What are your overall opinions about Man United right now, going forward with those players there, man?
So obviously I haven't spoken to you since the Arsenal game, because I got ill the day before the Arsenal game.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's the Arsenal game and the Forest game. I think the first half against Arsenal, we were pretty good, man. I thought we held the ball quite well, and I was very impressed. Second half, Arsenal couldn't really play any worse than they did in the first. So they were always going to come onto us. And at the end of the day, they got us 2 corners. And I hadn't really seen their corners up close until that game. And all they do is they start at the total opposite end of the box, and then they all rush, cause chaos, push the goalie, push defenders, and in the hope that the ref doesn't see it and they get a goal. And I'm telling you, they're going to do that every game they can. That's the only way that they scored against Fulham last game. So that's a massive tactic.
It's a foul, isn't it? Wasn't it Marcel Desailly was talking about it? He said it shouldn't. No, it wasn't Marcel Desailly. Who was it who said it? He said that it's a foul and it shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. It is a foul because they're pushing the goalkeeper. I mean, back in the day, that definitely would have been disallowed. You know, and Arsenal keep doing it, and they've done it twice. You know, the ball gets curled in right at the far post, does it? And the near post, sorry, right in the near post, and they all run forward, and there is chaos. You know, and it doesn't help that we got zonal marking because obviously we mark the space. We don't actually mark the man. I've always believed in the man marking system, you know, especially when you've got big guys in the box. You know what I mean? You have to defend it man for man. That's what we used to do. Now we're marking space, and obviously it's becoming a problem. Are you concerned about these set pieces, bro, going forward? Because it's not only about the defending set pieces, it's also about taking set pieces. We're very poor at that, isn't it?
Yeah, we are. I think the only time we scored recently from a corner was when Bruno didn't even put it in the box as such. He sort of laid it to the penalty area for someone to strike. I can't remember who it was now, but yeah, our corners are rubbish. Bruno takes everything, didn't he? He takes free kicks, he takes corners, takes the penalties, and we need a dead ball specialist, because he isn't it, mate. Unfortunately.
He's one of the worst I've seen, bro. I'll be real with you, man. He's one of the worst corner kick, free kick and corner kick takers I've ever seen. Honestly, Declan Rice puts him to shame, you know. Yeah. And Declan Rice is a CDM, you know what I mean, one defender. You know what I mean? And you know, and he keeps taking the free kicks. It's a bit like Portugal, isn't it? Ronaldo keeps taking the free kicks. But within Man United, we've got Bruno who keeps taking the bloody free kicks. And we do need someone else to take the free kicks. Anyone. I honestly think, you know, there's a number of players better than Bruno at free kicks. There is a number of players there who are better. I think even Rashford is better at free kicks than Bruno. You know,
And I think Everton and Mount are better at corners than Bruno is.
Exactly. I think when was it when we there was a game when we had good corners going in. Well, Bruno wasn't playing, I don't think. But you know what I like about corners is when they're whipped in with pace, and that's what Arsenal do. The good thing about them, they whip it in with pace. We just do these little tiny little floats, curling ball into the middle of the area and just hope for the best. And it's rubbish, to be honest with you. You know, and people supporting this guy. I mean, Diego Dalot's been poor for the last weeks and months. And people still supporting him regardless, you know, and they want to blame Harry Maguire. They want to blame Luke Shaw, who's not even playing, you know, and I don't agree with this, man. I look at what's happening on the pitch, and you know, Harry Maguire is one of our better players last year, you know, in defence and stuff, and you know, people just want to target the British players for some reason, and just because they're injured and stuff, and saying that they don't get any form of a criticism. Now, I want to remind people that Harry Maguire had death threats a year ago, and Luke Shaw also had that same thing. I think it was something threatened to go through his post, of course. So can't really say it on here, but it was. And at the end of the day, it's a collective. And when we criticize players, we don't criticize players because we don't like the players and we hate the players. It's because we're frustrated at them and we actually believe they're better than they actually are sometimes, because we've seen it. The problem is that they're down. It's almost like we feel like they're down tooling and they're not giving their all, and you know, and they're not practicing, and they just look lethargic and lazy. In my opinion, my theory is these players are not fit, bruv. That's it. That's my theory. I just think they're not fit. I don't know how you feel about that, you know, because I can't for the life of me think about why they would want to, you know, down tool. You know, it's like they're going through the motions in the game. You know, like a semi jog. You know what I mean? It's like when someone opens the door for you and you're like 5 meters away and you have to do that stupid little awkward jog. You know, that's what Man United do. That's what Man United do. And that's how I feel, bro. I don't know how you feel about it.
I just feel that we've got a massive lack of confidence still, because we'll have one good game and then the next game are crap. So we've got no confidence. And I think if these players are confident, you'll see them have more energy, run faster, make better decisions, be more accurate. I think our confidence is still right at the bottom, and the manager needs to help them with that. That's one massive thing that he needs to. Like, even if we don't bring any players in January, Amorim needs to work on the confidence of these players. And I think in his press conference, he does defend them. He does say, look, I believe in them, which is good. But yeah, I think our confidence is rock bottom, mate. And I will say this, that I don't like it when strikers, whoever it may be, Xerxes, Rashford, Højlund, I don't like it when they get dropped the next game after they score. I just don't like it, mate. I never will.
And I think that the Everton game was a prime example, wasn't it? You know, when Rasmus Højlund scored those 2 goals, it was like, there's your chance to have momentum. And there's no more important player on the pitch than the striker when he's getting goals, when he's scoring goals. Because you know what goals is. Goals are contagious. You know, and when you score 2 goals, you got to play him. Alex Ferguson used to do the same. He scored 2 goals the last game. I got to play him. He's got to play again. Because I guarantee you, he would have scored another couple. Yeah, I mean, or even scored again. He did score again too, but did he score again? I'm not sure where he scored again. But to be honest with you, Rasmus Højlund's been brilliant, in my opinion, this season, not getting any supply. And I hope that hopefully that improves. And do you see wholesale changes tomorrow for the game? We got Man City on Sunday, of course, massive game. You know, I mean, I'm not confident. I'm more in hope than anything. You know, it's more hope than it's hope that kills you, though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I think that at the very least, Man United will not want to get humiliated against City. They won't want to lose like 4-0. So at the very least, they need to put up a fight. And if they lose 2-0, 1-0, you can live with that. But we don't want to get battered, mate. So I don't think he's going to do it, unfortunately. I would definitely play Casemiro and Ugarte against City without a shadow of a doubt. And just play it cool, play it calm. If you get a chance to counter-attack, you do it. But just don't leave us open and get humiliated, mate, because that is the last thing that we need as Man United right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, isn't it? I like Mainu. I just don't. I'm for the life of me, I'm starting to think that that's not his best position. Honestly, I'm starting to think he's more of a bit of an attacking player than he is a midfield player, because we are quite open. when he plays, and we have to be honest. You know, we are a little bit open. I agree. I would play Ugarte and Casemiro. You know, unless we're at Old Trafford, we're playing against a lower team, then play Ugarte and Casemiro, because at the moment we're not settled, and we need to be concentrating on that defensive midfield. We need to concentrate on that, because we've been wide open this last couple of games. Nottingham Forest, Nottingham Forest were dominating their game. They were scoring at will, to be honest with you, and Arsenal could have scored another couple as well. And to be honest with you, we need to do that, and we need to implement that quick, because Ruud van Nistelrooy, this is exactly what we were saying in Elite Baller a few weeks ago about Ruud. You know, we were saying it about how it would have been ideal for Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay at the club for a few weeks, just for things to settle down. And you know what? Let Ruben Amorim know. Give Ruben Amorim some tippers in regards to the team, in regards to the players, the mentality and stuff. Like, he was playing obviously Ugarte and Casemiro, and we waited ages for that, and it started to work, didn't it? Let's be honest. It was starting to work. It was we were winning games, not losing games. We scored 5. You know, of course. I'm not sure whether was it Barnsley. Was it under Ruud? Was it under? I'm not sure. But we scored 5 against Leicester.
He was Leicester. We played Leicester twice. We played Leicester twice, didn't we? In the cup and then in the league.
And they're not too bad as well. You know, we smacked them up a couple of times under that. And I just feel like, keep that midfield solid. If you're going to play 2 number 10s, you need to have 2 CDMs. I mean, I used to know that even when I used to play the old game Championship Manager. You think in your head, you know, you got two attacking midfielders or 3 attacking midfielders. You got to play 2 CDMs in there to keep it tight at the back, because obviously you sacrifice defense. You know, I know what he's thinking. I know we got 3 defenders, but the defenders need to push up. If you got 1 CDM, you got to rely on your defender, your centre back, pushing up out of that 3 into the midfield. And I don't think we're good at the moment in that. It's going to take time. So at the moment, I think baby steps, man. I think he should do baby steps. Play Ugarte and Casemiro, keep it tight, and then the rest will look after itself, I think.
See, I was excited about the playing 3 at the back because it's different, right? I wanted to try something different. But when I look back now, how Ruud had us set up with Casemiro and Ugarte, and then obviously centre backs, you had De Ligt and Martinez. You got 4 warriors there, mate. You got 4 warriors there who are not going to give the ball up lightly. They will foul you rather than you get past them. And I feel like now everything's changed, and I feel like we're more susceptible to get counter-attacked now in this formation than we were when Ruud was playing with us, for those 4 games. So it does concern me, mate. I'm not going to lie. And obviously, there's a lot of pressure on the wing backs. And is Ahmad a wing back, really? I mean, he's a wide player, but is he a wing back? You know what I'm saying?
I would try Ahmad behind the striker. You know that. I would try. I think he can bring the ball. He can travel with the ball, and he can bring the ball to feet and create. I would bring him there, to be honest with you. I would try it out against Pilsen, but I don't think he's going to do that. In one way, that Ahmad is showing up Dalot. You know, he's showing him up because he's not a right wing back, and he's been playing better than Dalot in that position. No, but he isn't that player. He isn't a right wing back, and we're wasting him on that position, to be honest with you. Because he has to track back, he has to run forward, track back, run forward. And it's a bit of an issue going forward. I would like to see Ahmad in more of an attacking role. I don't know how you feel about that, but I would like to do it, you know, and see what it is. You know, Garnacho, I would give a rest. I mean, of course, there's lots of stories coming out in regards to Garnacho and leaks and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, and I just would put him out the limelight for a little bit and play someone else. You know what I mean? And probably Mason Mount, give him a couple of games in a row. Drop Bruno. I would like to see Mount and Ahmad. I really would. I mean, I would like to see that, you know, in the attacking midfield third, or Xerxes and Mount, something like that, you know, because Xerxes is not a striker. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? But what do you think about that? Mason Mount's position, Ahmad's position in the team, wing back. I mean, are we missing something?
I think if Dalot is going to continue playing, put him back on the bloody right. Put him back on the right, which is his preferred position. I think if you put Mazraoui on the left, he's more intelligent. He's not going to just bloody shoot from outside the box constantly. Dalot did that twice in the last game, and it's just a waste. You know what I mean? You made the effort to get all the way to the box, and then you just take a shot from outside the box instead of looking for your striker. I don't think Mazraoui does that. So I'd put Mazraoui on the left, Dalot on the right, because I don't think he's going to drop Dalot. I think he's undroppable, just like Bruno.
Do you think that's the Portuguese thing? Do you think that that's because he's Portuguese?
It is definitely not going to. It's definitely going to be a factor. Yeah, it is. It is, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, isn't it, that a manager thinks that way? Because one thing we're hoping is that he will ignore that, that Portuguese influence.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be rife, isn't it? It's always going to be something quite obviously important. You know what I mean, in regards to someone from the native country. It makes him feel more at home, doesn't it? But I like Dalot. I just think he's a bit of a passion merchant. I just don't think he's developing how I thought he would develop, in my opinion. I feel like we can do better on the right side. There's many players out there in Europe who are better than Dalot on the right wing back, in my opinion. But I would play him right, as you said. Definitely would play him right. I would rather play Mazraoui on the left instead, of course, because I don't think he does well on the left, Dalot. So it's either that or we stick in young Harry Amas. And I'm a big fan of Harry Amas, of course. I know he's young and everything, but I'm a big fan of his. We will sign a left back in the summer or the winter, but I don't want us to forget about the likes of Harry Amas, because I think they're doing leaps and bounds right now, and we shouldn't forget about our youth players as well.
I'd even put Malacia above Dalot right now, because Dalot just drives me crazy, mate. The decisions he makes, he can just switch off during a game, and he's been playing for Man United for a few years now. He should be more consistent. I think maybe 2 years ago he was really good, but I don't know what's happened to him in the last 2 years, mate. I honestly don't know. I've got nothing against him. Technically, he's a good player. I think he puts a shift in, but he just makes too many wrong decisions, man. I don't really get it.
It does, to be honest with you. And let's look at the Arsenal game first half. The Arsenal game first half, we had Malacia playing. And all right, it wasn't perfect, but we were solid. And we looked like we're doing well, And look, I give criticism where it's due. I felt like Ahmad, when he came on, he left a huge gaping space on that right-hand side and for Arsenal to exploit, which led to those two corners on that side. But he didn't get any support, did he, Ahmad? He's not a wing-back, so we can't, obviously blame him too much. But Dalot, again, nothing is coming from his side. At the weekend, nothing was coming from his side. No creative, no overlapping runs, no crosses, no nothing was coming from his side. And that's what you want from your fullback, isn't it? Your wing-back. You want him to make those overlapping runs. You want him to create space. You want him to cross. You want him to cut into the box. We haven't seen none of that from him. And I don't know if it's a confidence thing, a fitness thing. I don't know what it is. But one thing's for certain, we can't keep carrying players, and we can't keep just relying on players who keep underperforming week in, week out. Bruno, if any other club is in Europe, he would have been dropped by now. But if any other elite club, he would have been dropped a long time ago. The performances that he's putting in, I mean, oh my goodness me. I mean, I do player ratings afterwards, and they rarely get over a 6. Rarely any of those players go over a 6.
For a captain, that's not acceptable, mate. You need your captain to be 7, 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, regularly. I mean, look at Mazraoui, for example. Mazraoui always gets at least a 7, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He always gets at least a 7. He's never below a 7. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's concerning about him. Absolutely.
I think Mazraoui...
Simmer said, Rashford has been called out now by Stretford Paddock, are calling out Garnacho. Typical Rashford bum boy. Who? Stretford Paddock are calling out Garnacho. Garnacho's 20 years old, man. He's 20 years old. I don't know why people are jumping on him so much. Give the lad a chance. We're not saying he's the perfect article. We're not saying that he's finished, but goodness me, the guy's 20 years old, man. He's 20 years old. He's got a fantastic output this season, being our top scorer, by the way. And people are absolutely killing the player. They're killing him. Let him go on the bench for a while. He needs to develop. He needs to practice. He needs to get better. But let's not jump down the lad's throat, man. Let's not jump down and completely destroy him. Because especially from huge platforms, of course, it is not good on those players, to be honest with you. And I'm not happy with that. I don't single out most players. The only players I will single out are those players who've been there for years and years and years. You know what I mean? Dalot's been there years and years. He should know better. He's been on loan at AC Milan, etc. You got Bruno Fernandes, who's been there years and years. Rashford, years and years. And that's the only one. The young players, I don't I don't, because I know that young players can turn. Young players are notoriously inconsistent. People need to see the class of 92, how inconsistent they were when they were getting slapped up by Newcastle and Southampton and Tottenham and teams like that. Do you know what I mean? At home, I don't understand it, bro. I don't understand. The hatred for Garnacho is a bit much, to be honest, man. I think it's forced, in my opinion.
Even if he scores a goal, he'll always have people that hate him. It doesn't really matter what he does. You just got to stop even looking at social media. Honestly, if I were him, I would just not even bother. I'll just work on my game, become a better player. At the end of the day, he's the one winning. The people criticizing him will never see the money, the success, the properties that he lives in. They'll never see that. So he should just be happy with what he's got, work on his game, and just forget everything else, mate. It's not important, is it?
It's not important, you know, and people will talk. Opinions are not facts. You know, you just take him in and let him go. At the end, I think Chipmunk said that. But you know what? Stay away from social media. Look, I was speaking about this yesterday, and I was speaking about how social media, not only social media, WhatsApp, everything, it creates a huge amount of anxiety and stress, you know. And you know what? You always know it's near you. You always know it's by your side. And the thing with social media, because we come from a generation, of course, Elite, where we didn't have social media. And when I think about those days, they're actually nice. There was rarely people have anxiety, rarely people were depressed, you know, because I actually think that it hurts, because there's some things you see online, on Twitter, on Facebook, that you wouldn't see any other way. I mean, of course, the players back in the 90s and stuff got criticized, but they only saw that if they read the papers, and that was it, or watched TV. Nowadays, it's in your face. You can't get away from it, you know. So what I would do, it's an addiction. I think people in the future are going to have therapy to get away from their phones, because, you know, when you haven't got, these people haven't got their phone, that, you know, and don't be surprised. I mean, Garnacho liked a tweet which was slandering Licha Martinez the other day. He said it was an accident. And this is the second time this has happened. This is what we mean. You can do things on social media that you automatically regret afterwards. You can get a little bit of a little bit angry, a little bit for that moment, and say, oh, this guy's that guy's this, I hate this, I agree with this. And then you regret it afterwards. I shouldn't have said that, actually. Better delete that, or you've already seen it.
But why would he do that, Sal? They're both Argentinian. They're very patriotic. They stick together. They're teammates. Why would there be that kind of division between them? I don't really understand that.
I don't either. And he liked a Mark Goldbridge tweet a year ago. I think it was in regards to one of the players as well, his own players. And he said it was an accident then as well. I mean, once, okay, twice, what? And as you said, they're very patriotic. Argentinians, they stick to each other, they stick with each other. You know, they rarely criticize each other. You know, Argentinians, if you give them credit for that, I mean, they are very like that. But you know, it's a bit of an issue going forward, isn't it? These sort of things. And if you're making mistakes such as that on social media, you know, you got to stay away from social media, mate, because it's not your thing. You're going to end up getting yourself in all sorts of trouble, of course. You know what I mean? So, look, there was claims that Garnacho's brother was leaking team news, right? And there was a huge avalanche on Garnacho this last few days. And, you know, I disagree with this, right? Because team news has been leaked for many, many years at Man United. Right, many years at Man United, and we know who possibly the culprits are. But I think we're destroying the player, to be honest with you. The player's a natural talent. He's a raw talent, and we have to support him. And as you said rightly, Elite Baller, like, you know, he's got to stay away from the social media for a little while. Pull it away, concentrate on your kids, and leave your phone over there, man.
Because you're never going to gain anything from it. What can you gain from it apart from heartache and stress?
Exactly. And I get it. I've had it. That's why I stopped these streams many years ago, a couple of years, 3 years ago, I stopped. You know, I interviewed Jason McAteer, ex-Liverpool player, and I got the abuse I got, the barrage of abuse I got was astronomical, mate. And you know what? That is just a small fraction of what these players get. You know, a tiny percentage of what these players get. And I'm like, you know what? You're getting called all sorts of things. Nothing is out the window. You're getting called everything. And, you know, and if you look at that, it's poisonous. It's poisonous, you know, and you have to try and stay away from it. You have to try your best to just ignore it, you know. I mean, I actually think it's dangerous, social media. I do, because when I was younger, you know, we didn't used to have to deal with that. We dealt with school, we dealt with college, you know, some things play on our mind, but now it's consistently. That person said that, your anxiety goes up, your anger goes up, you know, for that split second when otherwise you should be relaxing, you know what I mean, at home with your family, you know what I mean? And that I think that's a big issue. And I think that obviously I have spoken to Garnacho on Instagram once where I didn't speak to him. He just said, thank you. And that just shows you that he's seeing everything, and he's constantly on his Instagram. I mean, imagine how many stories Garnacho gets, right? How many people mention his name, and then for him to respond to me, that means he's looking at every single one.
Yeah, it's because they've got too much time on their hands, isn't it? After they've done training, after they played the game, done any interviews or whatever, they got hours and hours and hours and hours to kill. So you can see what they're doing. They're Googling their name. They're looking their name on Twitter, seeing what's been said about them. And for all we know, Sal, some of these players have got burner accounts. Yeah, and they're typing under these burner accounts saying all kinds of weird shit. We just don't know. And now you understand why. Do you remember when Mourinho had a go at Pogba about posting shit online? Now we know why. Because it doesn't help anything.
It doesn't. It just creates a whole load of problems. I mean, no matter what you think about Eric Ten Hag, what happened last season with Jadon Sancho was disgraceful, because it wasn't only a disrespect to Eric Ten Hag, it was a disrespect for the club, and most importantly, the fans. It disrespected the fans because he didn't play during that period, and it's a period that we needed him the most, you know. And it's not about Jadon Sancho being untalented. We've always rated Jadon Sancho as a very talented player. We know he's a talented player. We know that he's inconsistent. He doesn't play. You know what? He's a bit of a crybaby sometimes. You know, but at the end of the day, like that, what he needed to do there. This is where leadership comes into play. And you know what? A good agent or something like that. Tell him, get up, go for a walk, go for a drive. I think Beckham. I watched his documentary, and Beckham said that when he was feeling stressed, he would get in the car and drive somewhere far.
Yeah.
You know, and do something like that. Get your mind off things. Me and my brother, we used to go for a walk, you know, and stuff. Because you know what? When I was doing music for many years, there used to be emails you get that you think are the absolute, but like, because you need DJs. So you send your song to a DJ, and a DJ will say completely rip you apart. And you'll be like, the absolute F in this. And you realize that the DJ works for Radio 1, he works for Kiss or Choice or something like that. And you're like, breathe. And you're like, let's go for a walk, bruv. Let's go for a walk. And let's go and get some lunch or something like that. And it's like that. You need to get away from it completely, because otherwise you just completely burn the bridge. You know what I mean? From there. And that is exactly what's happening with these players. You know, they ain't got no advice there, no good advice. Rashford obviously has his family, has his agents and everything like that. So they're constantly blowing smoke up his ass, you know. And the thing is that I just feel like this social media thing has become almost like breathing for them now. Even for me, you know, I wake up in the morning straight away on my Twitter, who said this, who said what, and straight away. And sometimes I'm feeling, you know what, for the next hour, I'm not going to look at my Twitter. I'm not going to look at my Facebook and stuff. But it's difficult. It's an addiction, man. Honestly, there's going to be therapy for this sort of thing going forward. But yeah, you know what? I mean, we need a team that concentrates on football. At the moment, we ain't got a team that concentrates entirely on football. I mean, there were rumors about Marcus Rashford, quotes about Marcus Rashford not having football on the forefront of his mind.
Yeah.
What would you do with Marcus Rashford, bruv, coming into next season?
Well, this is the thing, right? I know that you and a lot of people have had enough now, and I understand that. I can respect that opinion, but it connects to what we were just talking about. So the reason I've got a little bit more time for him is because I think the way that he's been treated on social media is pretty vile, mate. Like, in what kind of world do we live in where a young man sort of does charity work to help school kids have free meals, and then people use that as an excuse to batter him if he doesn't play well? That's the kind of sick world that we live in. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I've got that little bit of sympathy for him still. You know what I mean?
And what I don't understand, bro, is what does it achieve? I mean, I'm always constructive with my criticism. You know, there are people who call him certain names out there on Twitter and stuff. I just don't understand what that would achieve. What would the relationship be like between the fans and Marcus Rashford?
Yeah.
It's going to be a hateful relationship, a toxic relationship, isn't it? And then what does that do? Bad performances. That's what happens, because you got a toxic relationship with your fans, 76,000 of them, you know, and you're going to be feeling that pressure. But I feel for him. I really do. In my opinion, I think he should move on because it'd be good for him going to a club like PSG. Sometimes, you know what, too much has happened at Man United, I think. You know, sometimes like in a relationship, some things, too much has happened. You know, I mean, there's too much that's gone on. I just feel like something like that is happened to Rashford, and I feel like maybe it's time to move him on. But me, when he broke through the team, I was incredibly excited. You know, one of the most talented young players I've seen in years since the class of '92. Yeah. And you know what? It hasn't worked out, to be honest with you. He hasn't progressed the way I thought. And that is obviously off-field issues more than on-field issues, in my opinion. You know, and I can only imagine what it's like for him. You know, we only see it from the outset, don't we? We only see it from the outset, you know, but it hasn't helped that Man United have been so inconsistent. Managers have been come and gone. Exactly. You know, we haven't got Alex Ferguson there to nurture them like they did in the old days, you know. I mean, famously, Beckham returned from the 1998 World Cup, and straight away Alex Ferguson said, "F them, we are together." Do you know what I mean? And you know, we'll deal with it ourselves. You know, and it was like a family atmosphere. Man United are not at the moment. Man United are a toxic atmosphere, and I think it's going to take a while to get away from it. You know what I mean? I wanted to ask you quickly about Jim Ratcliffe, bruv. What is your opinions about what's going on at the moment in regards to obviously people losing their jobs? These kind of things going around in regards to him, and you know what? Do you think that he's just a shield for the Glazers?
Right, I'd see it slightly different to you. Okay, so basically, I know that we are never going to get rid of the Glazers until they want to go. It doesn't matter. You can have a million people in the street saying Glazers out. If they don't want to go, they're not going to go. It doesn't matter if it's Man United, whatever business it is. Millionaires, billionaires, they do what they want. They control the world. They are the elite. It doesn't matter what the peasants say. So I always knew that we were never going to get rid of them until the day that they want to go. So I hear what you're saying. In regards to people losing their jobs, obviously I wouldn't wish that on anyone, right? However, I've had it myself. I've been made redundant from 3 jobs in a row. It's part of life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm just saying it happens to everyone, right? And if you look at our employees compared to Man City, they've only got like 500. We had plus 1,000. Now, if Man City can win trebles and what have you with 500 employees, we don't need 1,000, mate. And yes, we're paying our players too much, but that's not an Ineos thing. That's a Glazer thing. And if you look at the players that we're buying now, they're not on anywhere near those salaries, mate. If you look at this, is he from Paraguay, that left back?
Oh, Diego Leon.
Yeah, we're going to be buying him for like what, 3, 4, 5, 6 million. That's the model. That's the model. If we'd been doing this,
to be honest with you, I don't think we should be splashing out anymore.
Exactly. If we go that way, a long time ago, we wouldn't have got into this trouble. So I'm a Libra, so I balance everything up. So I see the bad, I see the good, and I come out in the middle with a balanced thought. So that's what I think, bro.
It's a good point, man. It's good to hear. You know, differences of opinion is good, man, because you have got good points there. At the end of the day, you know what? Ineos are going to do what Ineos need to do. At the moment, look, I feel for the people who lose their jobs, of course. I mean, especially if it is like, I think the kit man lost his job. I think 25 years he was at the club. There was another guy who was there for 40 years, I think, he's lost his job. But the thing is as you said, it is a Glazonomics thing, the way the mess has been accumulated over the years, over 10, 11 years, 20 years, sorry, a bunch of bad decisions that have accumulated. And I suppose that they're trying to clear the accumulation of bad decisions. Do you know what I mean? And obviously people look at that from the outside and say, oh, that's bad what he's doing to him, that's bad what he's doing to him. But maybe he shouldn't have been there in the first place, you know, and maybe, and that's the way I see it. Elite LT said something. So you guys do agree the problem Bruno has consistently not performed in the last 8 months, but when he was not there or taken out during the game, we were worse. To be honest with you, it's very hard to say. It's very hard to say because we rarely see it. Number one, we don't see it don't see it consistently, and until we see something consistently, LT, I can't really judge if it's good or bad. At the moment, players are not taking their chances. I agree, but until we see a consistent, different formation up front, then we can't really judge it and say if we're better or worse, in my opinion. But what do you make of that, Elite Baller?
Like you just said, he never gets subbed off. He's only been subbed off 3 times in probably the last 2 or 3 years. Doesn't get dropped. Now imagine if you put Mount in his position for a period of 3 games, then we can make a judgment. But again, it's never going to happen. So it's very hard for us to say what the team looks like without him because he's always there. Always there. So we don't know, do we, mate?
We don't know. One thing's for certain, what I want is a successful Man United, a stable Man United, just things to settle down a little bit, because at the moment I'm just seeing so much noises. I'm seeing sensationalist thumbnails everywhere, trying to get clicks, trying to get clout, and it's driving me mad, to be honest with you. People writing all this stuff just to feed off it. I just want a successful football club. You know what I mean? And I just want us to start being being Man United again, and that's all I want to see. But I mean, back in the day when we had Peter Kenyon and those guys there, we rarely spoke about anything other than the football. And I want to go back to that. I want to go back to the football, And in regards to transfers, our most important transfers in our history have actually been our cheapest.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And even when you think about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Peter Schmeichel and Ronnie Johnson and Henning Berg, and these players were cheap. David May was cheap. The rest of them were youth players. Obviously, Roy Keane was a British record, 3.75 million at the time was a British record, but in theory, looking at it now, it was cheap. And I agree. It's best that we look for the next gem. And I think that's what Jim Ratcliffe's trying to do. I think he did say that, didn't he? We spent $1 billion in the last 10 years and we ain't got £100 million player, and we need to start creating our own Mbappes, he said, and creating our own legends at the football club. And I think we can. Alex Ferguson did it, notoriously did it. He did it with Chicharito. He did it with Fabio. He did it with Rafael. These players, they weren't known. No one knew who they were when they came. And let's be honest with ourselves. No one knew who Rafael and Fabio were. No one knew who, Chicharito was. When they came into the football club. But he did it. And, and I think that's what we need to do in the future, bro. Honestly, start doing that sort of thing. And then you don't lose much, do you?
And there's not any pressure on the players either. Like, imagine the pressure on, for example, Anthony. Yeah, that you cost 80 odd mil. That the press is putting the pressure on you. Rival fans taking the piss out of you. You can't do that if the player only costs 5-6 mil. You just can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Guys, thank you for everyone for joining me. Thanks, Elite Ball. I know you're struggling there with your cough, mate. Hope you get better soon, bruv. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, maybe, if you're a little bit better and stuff like that. But guys, thank you for joining me. Big up Elite Baller. Elite Baller, where can they find you, man, on your YouTube?
I'll put the link in the description just a sec, guys. But yeah, nice one, Sal. Good to speak to you again, mate. Sorry it was so long, but as you can see, still struggling, bro. But yeah, all the best to you, my brother. Yeah.
I hope you get better. It's one of them things, man. All the best, brother. Take it easy, man. Take it easy. Guys, thank you everyone for joining me, you legends. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. Yes, Breaking Dawn in. More news for Man United. It is match day tomorrow, but Man United are playing Viktoria Plzeň, home of Pavel Nedved and Peter Cech, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you for joining me. All the guys in the chat, thank you. So I can get through all of them today. I gotta go. I've got, I'm starving, guys. I'm starving, Marvin. I haven't eaten all day. But guys, have a good one. Take it easy. I'll see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, you guys. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video if you could do that for me. Thank you very much. All the best. Peace.